We need access to the oil and to other things in their country that allow us to rebuild their country.
U.S. President Donald Trump's appetite in the Western Hemisphere appears insatiable. Barely a day after stunning the world with a dramatic move against Venezuela's strongman, Nicolas Maduro, the commander-in-chief turned his gaze north to ice, silence, and power: Greenland.
We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security, and Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
And just like that, the MAGA machine roared to life, a map of Greenland draped in the American flag, one word stamped across it: soon. Shockwaves rippled across Europe. Greenland's prime minister fired back. Enough is enough. No more pressure, no more fantasies about annexation.
Sekkutuunik maanga pisoqarnissaanu maannakkuoqalunneq naliliinerpu tassaniingilluinnermat soorunami upalungaarsimanissami iliuseqarnissa taakkulu piareersimaffiginissaa tassuun killittoqassangaluarpat taakkua qulaajaaneri allallu naalikkersuisuningaanni ingerlappagun aamma ataavartumik ingerlattuartuuvagun soorunami pissutti ukua taavalu pissun kingullertigullu oqariartuutigineqartun naalikkersuisuningaanni isingu tamakkulunga tungasuni ammarnerutilaarpaat taanna oqaatigissuara kisianni oqaqqissuunga uaniingilangut unnuami nunarputiguagaanissaani pisoqassaso naalikkersuisun oqaloqatiginniaqqutigalungu pittaasumillu suleqatigiinner tamaaviisa peqatigalungit pissutsin naliginnaasungoqqinnissaanut aqutieqqortua torlungit ataqqaqatiginnerlu angoqqinnissaanut suliqassua ullum quyanaruyuissua takkussinnaagassa.
Denmark's leader warned the world to take Trump's words seriously.
First of all, I believe that we should take the American president seriously when he says that he wants Greenland. But I also want to make it clear that if the USA chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops. That includes our NATO membership and thus the security that has been established since the end of World War II.
But is there a small part of you that thinks that everything really could come to an end with this president?
I do everything I can to prevent that. I believe in democracy and I believe in the international rules of the game. Of course, I also believe that borders should not be changed by force in any way. That is not only the position of Denmark and the kingdom, but fortunately also of Europe. And that is why I also hope people notice once again the strong European support we are receiving. I agree that it is important to have security, peace and safety in the Arctic region. That is, after all, one of the reasons we are part of NATO. Greenland is also a member of NATO. It is a shared responsibility for the Arctic states, including the kingdom, to ensure that there is security, peace and freedom in the Arctic region. But Denmark has always been a good ally to the United States. We want to continue to be that. However, I also have to address some of the things being said from the American side. And of course, we will not accept a situation where we are threatened, nor will we accept threats against Greenland in this way.
Nordic nations closed ranks. Britain and France voiced support. Public unity, private panic. Because this time feels different.
Well, let me be really clear about Greenland. The future of Greenland is for Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark. Denmark is a close European ally, a close NATO ally. Well, I'd stand with her.
Okay.
And she's right about the future of Greenland.
Trump's language is no longer casual or joking. It echoes something older, darker, more territorial. The Monroe Doctrine, a warning to rivals that America decides who belongs in its hemisphere.
Successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night.
He claims Greenland is crawling with Russian and Chinese ships. He talks of minerals, of wealth, of destiny. But behind the rhetoric lies strategy. Outright annexation may be unlikely, but transformation is not. The goal appears clear: change Greenland's status before the clock runs out. Step 1. Widen the cracks between Greenland and Denmark. American officials openly question Denmark's stewardship. American leaders hint at Greenlandic independence. A special envoy is appointed, signaling Washington may see Greenland as a separate player. Behind the scenes, intelligence agencies reportedly monitor independence voices. Danish officials accuse the U.S. of spying. Trust erodes. Step 2. The deal. Not conquest, but a compact of free association, a COFA. According to The Economist, Trump is mulling to offer a legal framework that keeps Greenland self-governing while binding it tightly to the United States. American forces gain freedom of movement, trade flows duty-free. Washington gains strategic control of the Arctic's most valuable real estate. Trump calls it a real estate deal of the century. European leaders call it destabilization. Denmark insists America already has military access. Washington wants more, and perhaps without asking Copenhagen. Direct talks with Greenland have been sought, and so far refused. Still, the pressure builds. Germany now says NATO's Article 5 would protect Greenland, even from America itself. And Greenlanders? They brace, because they know the language, they know the history. Greenlandic lawmakers say this is the Monroe Doctrine, and we know what that means. The ice is melting, the Arctic is opening, and Greenland is no longer just frozen land. It is the next front in a global power struggle, where free association may be the velvet glove hiding an iron grip.
Taking control of Greenland militarily would be very easy for the United States. However, the political control that is governing a territory the size of Greenland with a population that presumably wouldn't be too happy about American presence would be difficult, and it would create also, I think, quite a big pushback at home in the United States against Trump and of course internationally.
I think the European reaction is surprisingly weak, taken as a whole. There have been different voices, of course. I haven't seen them all, but like, for example, Callas, the High Representative of Foreign Policy, I was surprised to see that she was that non-principled in her way of reasoning.
To what extent will our NATO allies really support us on this matter? Because right now, when it's just a matter of issuing statements, we hear a lot of support, and that's of course something that is received thankfully in Copenhagen and in Nuuk. The question is, if there was an actual military operation, would some of these other European countries be reluctant to criticize Trump, given that they also have other security interests, not least in relation to Russia, and might value better relations with the Americans higher than the need to come to Denmark's defense here? Well, in case of a US military invasion of Greenland, which I think is unlikely still, in that scenario though, the NATO alliance would in reality de facto cease to exist. If you have one member attacking another member, there is no alliance.